Okay, Sinatapi, Nistu Nidanako, Makoyo Sakoi, Nistu Amskapi Pikani, Nistu Sixakatapi. Welcome! Wellness Wednesday with Native Wellness Institute. We got a special treat for you. We're out on location in a very beautiful, pristine redwood valley, not too far from the ocean. There's so many trees here that the indigenous deal with lumber, people getting lumber and timber. But welcome to Native Wellness Institute! We're here today to inspire and to uplift. We always keep it positive, productive, and proactive. And we're very privileged. Josh Cocker, my co-NWI facilitator, we're here doing healthy relationships for Pomo Land. So where are you, Mike Duncan? We always like tease. We just want to say welcome to this hour. We want to take some time to talk about what kind of healing is going on here. We have some surprises for you in that we have the doers. These are advocates, and these are compassionate human beings who are healing with youth. So yesterday was so beautiful. We had a lot of 11-year-old and 12-year-olds, and 13 and soon to be 14, as well as in the neighborhood. A lot of the young people come here because this is a safe place. They come and they made them pozole. There was acorn bread. So welcome to Native Wellness Institute Wellness Wednesday. We were in Sherwood, Pomo, and the young people that came in just really shared their experience. They talked about what they dream. They talked about their goals and objectives in life, and they just had fun. We did a lot of laughing games, a lot of joyful games. And then an elders group came in. We had a bunch of elders, Pomo elders, come in talking about healthy relationships, patterns, that they have gone through in their lifetime, and then the patterns now in their 60s and 70s and their 50s, and some for 40s. Some 40s, some elders are 40s. Isn't that cool? But I was, one of our beautiful things, like, look at this. Wouldn't this be a great earring? A badass anti-earring. Look at this earring. We're for our elders gathering, and you guys are all invited. Tomorrow there's going to be a lot of cooking, and a lot of indigenous plants are going to be served, and there's going to be some comedy. There's going to be a lot of what keeps elders well, and that will be, so this is, but I just had to bring this in here because anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you. We got a couple guests coming in. Come on in. And we're Native Wellness Institute. Exactly, I see the laughing. So we're gonna start with Antoinette. And this person has been coming to our events for many, many years, but I remember at Bahia, Native Wellness Institute used to always be at Bahia, and Sister and I connected then. And so I've asked Antoinette to come in, and I've asked whoever we wanted to start with a song from the area. So I'm going to ask them to come on in. Whoever's going to sing. Are you singing by yourself?
I think I'm singing myself, yeah.
All right, so introduce yourself and tell us a little about the song that you're going to sing.
Antoinette Anna, I'm Antoinette, so I'm excited to be here. This song was shared with me from Sal Martinez. He's from Point Arena, he's on Coast, and it's a healing song. So I'm actually going to sing it with him, and so we're going to go from there. Hey, oh, hey, oh, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, oh hey ya, oh hey oh hey ya, oh hey oh hey ya, ooh.
Oh. Oh my gosh, that
So
was so beautiful. So, do
thank
you want to
you.
please, introduce our next speaker?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Monique is Chumash Tongva, and she, Theda talked about our Elders Day, our Elders Healing Day tomorrow. And so Monique is going to share a little bit about what she does here for healing in our community.
So, and most of you know, Monique always came to Native Wellness Institute. She was always the one massaging us and had our feet and had our legs over our head, and we were like in a pretzel. And God, it felt good. It was almost orgasmic. So, but it was orgasmic in the way of taking care of our body when those endorphins squirt all over. Ooh, those endorphins just come like that, and they just, ooh, I must be feeling festive. Where's that guy that's courting me? Hey, I'm gonna jump in bed with him. Ooh, it's gonna be good. But two consenting adults, remember consent. Two consenting adults can do any dang thing they want to. Eh? Okay, so Monique, please introduce yourself and please tell us what you're going to be doing with these elders.
Ayaquis, go Yenakoi, Nick now may wish and chuck, Monique Sanoki, Metwa Metchok Tungva, Essie Chumash, Essie Yaki, Essie Irish. And I work here for the Tribal Youth Diversion Program. And I am actually there's a program in California called the California Truth and Healing Council. And we got a grant from them to do truth and healing circles with elders. So we have them twice a month. And we bring in traditional healers, cultural presenters, and like we brought in some singers to teach songs. So we try to do what the elders, we did a survey what the elders really wanted. And this week we are doing a healing day. And it's not like the regular, different people have healing days and they bring in speakers. So it's a more mental healing. And I'm a trained Midi practitioner from Aotearoa, New Zealand. I trained with the Maori healers. So I do a lot of body work. And the body work is based in engage what's wrong with you, know what's wrong with you, agitate it, and then release it. Because sickness is really trauma that gets stored in the body, in the organs, in the blood, in the bones, in the tissues, in the in the brain, in the liver. So that's a lot of the work that I do, and most of what I do is stuff that I've experienced myself. Like I broke my arm and I couldn't function. I had broke ribs, so I couldn't drive. It was hard to work on myself. So I found different things that I could purchase that would help me. And so like one of the things I purchased were they're called copper. They come in sleeves and socks, and this is like a knee brace. And so I would put this on my arm, and the copper helps.
Wait, just a minute. I thought this was a condom. No, sorry. I always do this to her because she's so serious, and it is serious. But look at this, because so like when I had like a titanium knee, so this would.
I thought you said titanium, something else you put a condom.
Right. Okay, something else you put a condom. Can you tell we're festive? Anyway, tell us about this. Does it really work?
It really works. So
Okay.
This would like go on the knee. So I was having some knee trouble, and I'd put this on at nighttime. You can wear it 24/7. And the copper, it's medicine. It's a stone. So it helps bring down inflammation, which brings down pain. So I had like copper sleeve that I had on my hand because I broke my hand. And I use these, and I'll lay on them, put them on my back or on my shoulder or over my head. And there's also magnets that work really well that you can buy in like this type of thing. Or I sleep on a magnetic mat, and I have one in my car, and I have magnets that I put on. So the best place to get these is Amazon or eBay, just because they're cheaper. But again, it's all medicine, right? It's all from stones and rocks and stuff. So that's some of the stuff that we're going to do. And let's see. Oh, another thing we're gonna do. So I bought these things, and we're gonna let the elders sit on them or use them and see which ones they like, and then we're gonna have a raffle, and we're gonna have a grab bag so they can pick one or two to put in their bags. But this is one that I really like. It is
Check this out.
a chair massager. And
I was having some orgasm sitting on this thing. Oh wait, what does it do?
She was. So it can sit. When you're watching TV, you can lay on it and sleep at night. So it's heat and it's kind of vibration, which heat really helps bring down inflammation. So like a lot of doctors tell you, oh, put ice on it, but the Maoris say never put ice on your body for anything, because the ice constricts, it tightens it up. So it stops the blood flow, so it stops the pain on that level. But what we want to do is open it up and keep the blood flow going. So the heat takes a little bit longer than the ice, but the ice, because it restricts, it holds the pain and the trauma in the bone and the muscle and the tissue. So it won't heal, but if you keep doing the heat, that brings it. So this is one of the things that I really like to do. And I find a lot of these things at yard sales. So so that's how I get to try them. Then we went out and bought a bunch for the elders. So I think this is going to be a big hit.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you can see there's several. We're doing the food, we're doing the body, we're doing the spirit. So what else you got?
So this one Theda's going to really like, but it's not what she's going to say it is, okay? This is...
Woohoo! Look at that!
This is an
Does it come in bigger and longer?
This is an acupressure massage pin, I swear. And a healer turned me onto this, and you can turn it on, and it gets like different levels, and you can do it to yourself or someone else. So I would hold it, and I would find where she's sore and put it on that sore spot. And what it does, it's like an acupressure. If you guys have ever been to acupressure or acupuncture, it sends like pulses into your meridians. And so if you're in pain, that means you have inflammation or you have a blockage. So the pulse kind of pulses, and it.
So if it was your elbow, where would you put it?
You would put it wherever the pain is. And these I bought online, and they're like anywhere from $12 to $20. And it took me a couple of different.
That feels like it's zinging all the way into my chest.
Yeah. So it's opening up those things. So these. She's just gonna make everything bad that I say. So when I first bought them, they were straight and in a with batteries. But I found this curved one is easier to hold, and you plug it in, so it lasts longer.
So the straight up ones are good, but the curved ones are also delightful.
Okay. And with the USB, because you're not buying batteries, and it just lasts longer.
Oh,
so this, awesome. And you can I pack it in my purse, and I pack it in my car when I travel.
So what if you had a headache? Would you use that also?
It comes with different parts to put on it.
Oh, different parts. Just think of that. That's so cool.
Different shapes, and there's one.
Awesome.
There's one that's like flat and round that you would use on your head, and you want to use at a lower thing. But also too, the Maori. Oh, thank you.
Oh, wow.
But the Maori, they talk about, it's really about, again, I'm crying, about engaging. So if you have a headache, engaging it, finding the spot, agitating, putting pressure or massage or just deep breath and push on it, and then releasing. So you're releasing out of your body, but you're also releasing the trauma, And you can look at an acupressure point chart, and it'll show you on your skull or on your feet, especially in the hands, what parts pertain to what parts in your body. So the tips of the fingers are like sinuses. So if you have a sinus headache, you can massage that. The tips of the toes are sinuses. So you can just Google acupressure chart online, and I'll usually print it out, or you can buy one, and then I refer to those. So if my hand's hurting in this spot or right here, it's I look on that chart, oh, okay, that's, the head. I've got a sinus headache, or I have a headache or a migraine. So I can massage that, and it will go away. Now, you may bruise, or you may, and bruising actually is a sign that you're releasing. So what I do with a lot of oils, when I do body work, I use essential oils. So, and the brand I use is doTERRA, because they are probably one of the closest you can get to organic stuff, and they help a lot of communities. So the ones I have here are
So this is the
oils.
power hour where I'm going to give you the ability to smell. So get your nose real close. Not that greasy. Not that. Geez, you Indians are greasy. Okay. I want you to get close because now she's going to talk about that stuff that can just make us smell so good.
Aromatherapy. So I think this is backwards. It says cheer. So doTERRA comes in individual, but these are all mixes. This is motivation,
Ooh, let me try some of that.
and this is passion. You stay away from the passion.
Okay. Oh, no
So,
way.
and they're so for
I
different-
want double dose.
So they're for different things. They're like a lot of emotional oils, so you can rub them on your hands and breathe them. These are really good for like when you travel, and we give them to the kids, and they get to pick the one they like out, and they can pack it around with them at school and use it. And so it'll help bring you down, it'll help balance you, it'll help motivate you. And then they have other oils for like breathing, if you're having sinus infections, stuff like that. So we make those available to the youth and the elders at our events, and they can sample them, and we put them on our raffle table, and they can take them home and use them and share them with their family. So just an array of stuff. Food, I cook traditional food, I cook organic food. It's a lot of work chopping everything up. I made my own ramen, and the elders like want it every week, but it's a lot of work to do, you know. But we work with a farm, Kadile, which is a all-women, indigenous women-run farm, and we bring fresh produce, so we get to cook a lot of that out. So if there's a farm close to you, an organic farm close to you, or someone you know is growing food, you know, reach out, because everybody has extra stuff, and you can cook out of that. So whatever we make every week is based on what we get from the farm or what's in season.
So there was a bunch of kids. They just ran in here yesterday, and they ran over and started making smoothies. So tell us about these
Yeah.
smoothies and what's in them.
So we do a smoothie bar. I personally eat a smoothie every day. And the kids, you know, they eat a lot, and I want them to eat healthy. So we started doing smoothie bar here, and we taught them how to make their own smoothies, and they do it. So we do like bananas, we get a frozen berry mix, and I like to use coconut water because I can't do any sugar or stevia or honey or anything, and coconut water is really sweet. It hydrates you. I use almond butter over peanut butter because it's healthier for you. And there's a place called Grocery Outlet here in California, and they have a lot of food, and they have like an organic section. And so I buy, will you go get one of those? So I buy mushroom powder, I buy beet powder, a spirilla powder.
Woohoo,
They
spirullas. Talk about spirilla.
So it's like a super green. It's a moss. It's kind of like seaweed, and it's just good for you all over. It's full of vitamins and minerals, and you can like get your daily dose of veggies in the morning if you'd like. So they have mushrooms. So here's like a chaga mushroom mix. Chaga. Depends on where you come from.
Yeah. Browning, Montana.
Chaga. Green and yellow, red. So that's plants. And here's like a beet.
Oh, wow.
So we mix all these in, and then you have like, you know, you got your smoothie for the day. So I drink a smoothie every day, sometimes at nighttime if I don't have time or I'm not feeling like eating a heavy meal. And the kids love it. So anybody who's running a youth program, or, you know, you have people coming in, a smoothie bar is like the greatest thing.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to? She's going shopping. That we were making
yeah,
the
yeah.
list, but I told her, "What's on that list?" And you know, at Badass Auntie, I put some other things on there. I'm not gonna tell you what they are, but you know what they are. Okay, so anything else you want to say before our next guest speaks?
I'm also gonna do juicing. Introduce that to the office staff because I juice a lot. So it's a real basic juice. Apples, green apples, carrots, celery, lemon, and cucumber is the basic that I do. You get, again, getting all those vitamins and nutrients. And I found when Red Bulls came out, I was drinking Red Bulls because I was teaching at university and I was kind of nervous and, you know, preparing lesson plans. And after about a month of that, and they're little, right? So a month of that, I started having stomach aches and headaches. So I thought, I'll juice and clean out my stomach. So I juiced for a day, and I ended up juicing for 2 weeks, and not realizing after the 2 weeks I never had a craving or felt like I needed to have caffeine. So that's what I do, is I juice for my caffeine. I juice when I'm doing long road trips. I juice and I take it with me. I bring it to the office. So tomorrow for our healing day, we're going to have smoothies and we're going to juice for the elders.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Mm.
Waka.
we have a lot of hug therapy around here. So we thank you, Monique. And we thank you, Native Wellness Institute. It's Wellness Wednesday. We're here to uplift. We're here to talk about things that we Indians can do. And before you leave, I was thinking about one of my elders this morning, and he always says, we're not playing Indian, so we're not fake ass Indian. We're not playing Indian, we're living Indian. And this woman helps you live Indian. And our next guest that we're going to bring on has been living Indian for a long time. And she's coming from a mother's perspective. So we're going to invite you on in.
Hello, guys. I'm Stephanie Hopkins. I'm a mother of 6 and from 14 to 1 years old. I was a young mother at 19. I'm from Sherwood Valley, Band of Pomo Indians. I've lived here for 9 years now. And now that I work with my tribe for the tribal youth program with Antoinette and Monique, and I just love them. They're good spirits. They make this a well place, and it's really good to work with them, so I just love them. And so like I said, I work with tribal youth, and one of the things we brought in was NWI for wellness and healing. And yesterday we had a meeting, or a circle, and we had our children, or the youth here from 8 to 13, and Theda asked if they wanted to share a song, and they all jumped in and sang 1 or 2 songs, and it was nice seeing them. It was really nice seeing them out of their shell, and just doing that makes me very proud in what I do, and that what I bring to the table is like it means something. So seeing them grow and progress, and I'm just happy that we brought in Native Wellness. So,
Yeah. Well, so let me ask you a question. How was it? How was it when you had your first baby? What kind of thoughts did you have? And like now as a mother, because you represent out here in Indian country, there are just so many life givers. I mean, so many but as a mother, when you first had your baby, what kind of thoughts did you have, and what kind of thoughts do you have now?
well, when I was a young mom, I've had my own traumas, and so it was really hard for me. But I know loving my baby so much that I wanted to do anything and everything that I can to make them have a better life, and know there's different things you can do for wellness and getting just on a better path. And now that I'm on my own healing path and showing my children that you can do it, and you don't have to be stuck in and that there's other things out there, and I'm just putting some stuff on the table, like Native wellness, and bringing in culture, singing, and learning how to make our own instruments so that we can carry on our traditions. So,
So tell us, do you have a partner that helps you?
yes, I do.
Can you talk about, because that balance of having someone to help you love up your children, tell us about that.
So I have a husband, and he's so awesome. He's very supportive. He's there for our children. He's stepdad to 4 of my children, so he stepped up and did what he didn't have to do, and he wanted to. He didn't have a dad, so he wanted to do like the best thing that he can for his children and be there and be supportive, and he coaches them. He works with them, and like doing sports, he volunteers, he does like everything I think a dad should, and he's on his own healing path, and also we're just doing the best that we can, raising our children right.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask one more question. If you had a magic wand, and I'm just hugging you, because if you had a magic wand, what do you wish for Sherwood Pomo? You could just wave it, like just if you could wave it out there, what would that be?
Just healing Healing's my number one thing. It's just healing our people so we can learn to help each other and not bring each other down, and knowing how to work with one another and just uplifting each other would be my one.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So we'll invite our thank you sister. Stephanie, when you come in the door, it's so inviting here. Everywhere there's baskets, there's flicka, there's pomo, every representation, and when you come up there's sitting Stephanie. So Stephanie, gosh, is just like the opening door to all of the natives that come here and greets them. It's not like on Res Dogs, like, okay, sit down, you gotta wait for 3 days and we might see you. No, it's not like that. It's like she greets them. And so she was the first person when I walked in, and I looked at her and I just thought, I'm in the right place. The right things are going on. And so Native Wellness Institute, we love Wellness Wednesday. We're waiting for our next guest to come in. And before we introduce them, what are you guys doing for a festive time for solstice tomorrow? And so I'm asking you that question, but I have a special guest. This is like one of my favorite younger brothers, nephews to work with, and we just been having a blast. And so I'm going to invite Josh to come on. Hey, Josh, what is going on here?
Hello, everyone. How's it going? Josh Cocker. Been a while since I've been on the ye old Facebook for the Native Wellness Institute. Stoked to be on the Power Hour. My name is Joshua Cocker, Kyle on my mom's side, and I'm talking on my dad's side. And like Theda said, we're up here in Pomo territory helping out and talking about healthy relationships.
Hey, so as a dad, what's going on? How is it to be a young dad?
Oh, man, scary. When my wife was pregnant, because she was the one who had the baby inside of her body, I put on all the weight and I haven't lost it yet, so there's that too. Keeps me warm in the winter. But yeah, being a young dad, it's awesome, insightful. I find that I'm much more patient with the things that I grew up around. I understand that in order to create those good, happy times, the loving times, like there's so much effort put in that I just didn't understand. And even those harder times, with like in our immediate family or just extended family, there's a lot more trust that everyone was just doing their best. Yeah, that's how it feels.
Mm-hmm. So when talk about we came here. It took me 2 days, and it took you 12 hours.
Yeah.
So when I got here, I swear, when I saw the trees and it was atmospheric rain and the smell, what was it like when you got here? What embraced you? What welcomed you here?
I think just the Willits Road. Been up here quite a bit, and there's a lot of power up in this area too. This is the gateway to the Redwoods, as they say. They have a huge lit up sign that says Willits Gateway to the Redwoods. But it's just a beautiful space. It's a powerful place. They're different people. So on my Indian side, being Kiowa, we have a lot of structure around our warrior society and then healing from those spaces as well. And then we have our Taipega, our Gore Clan medicine societies as well. But out here, it's a little bit different. And the spirit of their people, because they were stationary, was different. And you can feel it when you're out here. It feels old and still, like the trees.
Most of you know Josh is a hunter and a fisherman, and most of you you were taught to make fire by Josh. But Josh, what do you think in 2024? What can our Native Wellness Institute Power Hour peeps that come on here? What kinds of things would you just like blast out there for them to do in 2024?
Oh, that's a good question. First of all, Theda said fisherman. I can cast a rod. I cannot catch a fish.
Oh.
So,
My bad.
I'm cursed, I think. But when it comes to fishing, but I think for 2024, been able to set a good trend, have eyes on and see what's going on in Indian country for a good amount of time, being able to travel in different areas. And what I noticed is that not only in Indian country, but just like in the conversation at large with our nations and other nations, we need a confidence and an assurity within ourselves. A confidence that's born out of competence, not just a feeling of, oh yeah, I can do what I want. And so we have to create those things, whether it's rubbing those sticks together to make that friction fire, whether it's going out and hunting, or we make new things because we have new available technology. We were giving the example just yesterday. The horses are not from here, but they became a part of who we are. And there's all those teachings with it. So we got to find a new way to get forward and build that capacity within our people. We got to start needing one another, relying on one another, placing that responsibility on each other so that we can grow up together.
You also said something last night in our elders circle. We went till like 8:30 last night. You said young people need a push, a disciplined push. Can you say something about that in raising kids? Because it's not just to let them lay on the couch and look at their phone or do screen time. What did you mean as a young Native man that they need that disciplined push?
Yeah, I think just thinking about like how our people lived traditionally, pre-colonization, even during the time of our wars, moving around on horseback, being able to take care of yourself and have enough within yourself to take care of other people, being brave enough in those moments where you need to stand up and do something to do it. That kind of bravery, that level of skill, that keen intellect needs to be instilled from a young age because it takes a long time to get there. And so for these warriors who are out there and they're fighting and they're doing these great things, these mothers who are rearing children on the plains at a young age, it's because it was from birth until that time that they were being instructed. And our people need those things still today. And that's why I was encouraging that we need to begin to rely on each other. Our young people, they need responsibility, and not responsibility as in here, just do this chore so my house is clean, but responsibility and also the recognition of that responsibility. I'm asking you to do this, you do this thing, and now we lift you up. Look at how you've contributed. And growing in that together is going to build our people because we could use that kind of unity. Yeah.
Okay, so this is Badass Auntie's last question.
Okay.
I look at you and your wife. How did you guys meet?
We met on Instagram. So, yeah, I'll tell this story. Okay, so don't be mad, Eva or Reggie. But we were having dinner and I was cooking elk that I had hunted over at her dad's house. Yeah, making them dinner. And her dad goes, "How did you guys meet?" And I said, "Tinder." And he got really mad. we didn't meet on Tinder. So we met on Instagram, we met up, and it was actually about work originally, but then I was like, yo, this girl's way too pretty to be talking about work with, so I asked for her number, asked if I could talk to her and see her again, and she was like, yeah, and then deferred all business conversations to other people on our team, and yeah, man, she's been nice enough to keep me around and fully domesticated now. I drive in cars instead of motorcycles, I sleep in beds, and yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, we want to thank Josh. We want to let me give you a hug. The hug therapy. Thank you for coming to Wellness Wednesday, Native Wellness Institute. We'll say bye to Josh, and we got another guest coming on. So one of the things that we wanted you to think about, because, there's just a giant raven. Hey, Gene Tagabon, a raven just looked in the window. Was that you? Was that you, Gene Tagabon? So one of the things that we wanted you to think about is the solstice. And the solstice is tomorrow, December 21st at 8:45 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And that, for me, for me, it's like, in our tribe, it's big. The solstice is big. But it's especially big because I always think of the Mayan calendar that started new in 2012, as most of us have talked about. That the solstice and the equinox, they're transformational time, so it can become kind of vulnerable. So think about that. We're moving in. I don't do caffeine. I don't do any. But I was just telling them, I've had to calm my energy because my energy is just loving and liking and sparking, and it's because of the solstice. So we're in this building that they own. They light smudges all the time. It's a mental health facility where people come with anxiety, with grief, with healing. We have some grandmas who are coming in a few minutes, and we're talking about unhealthy patterns, and they're grandmas who want to still have healthier relationships today in person with, and if they're hetero, with another man. We have grandmas, who love the same sex, and so they're talking about that. We have grandmas. So far, one grandpa came in, he looked in, and he ran out. So I don't know if he looked at me or whatever. Like sometimes people will look at me and they'll run out because they know I'm going to ask them a question. And they know that the answer will help all of us heal. And so, no, I'm just kidding. But what does the solstice mean for you? Every time this solstice, I shifted. So Native Wellness Institute, shift back 3 years. We didn't have the vaccine. Shift back to now. And what was the solstice? Many prayers, many fasting. We were fasting. We were in a pandemic. And during the solstice, there's such good energy. That's where we had ceremony. Up in the plains area, there's a lot of ceremony getting ready for this summer's Ocon Medicine Lodge. There's ceremony for Ixkanax Horn Society social powwows. December 25th, we always go to Kainai. There's headdress transfers. There's naming ceremonies, and it's just social. There's a lot of gift giving, that festivity. So remember, with most Indians, you can give gifts 364 days a year. Give gifts, get gifts, and the gift might be a song. It might be a horse. It might be a map of where to find the best medicine. It might be other things other than, purchasing with a credit card online. There's many gifts that you can give during the solstice, and that transformation. So getting ready, there's one sleep before the solstice. So, and one of the things that badass auntie would just like to encourage you to do is, you may have the altar in your home, but take your smudge out tonight. Take your smudge out. Take out, I was just gifted this from the Rosebud Reservation, and it feels like it's ancient. And so I've been smudging it and putting it by my nightstand where I sleep. Smudge your stuff. If you are privileged to, they say, we don't carry a pipe carries us. It might be a personal. Smudge your pipes, smudge your clappers, smudge your rattles, smudge your children. Tonight, the most precious gift you have been given is your children. And even if they don't live in your house now, smudge, because the remote prayer goes out. Always remember that. When you're smudging and you're pushing that smoke out to your son or to your daughter or to your partner. And in this transformation, I'm going to ask you to send out the smudge to your exes, the ones that you had patterns of relationship. Send them a smudge. And a good prayer is, may they have a long, healthy life. And so just send that smudge out. Send that smudge out to, if you've seen someone, and sometimes they, in recovery, in healing, it's to give something, not publicly. So give a prayer to someone in need of that. And when you give out that prayer to them, woohoo! some exciting things can happen. I was the group that's coming in. They're starting to come in the doors and stuff. I was going to share the snag bag that was made at Susanville, and the snag bag because it's for elders 55 and older. Remember, 2 adults consenting can do a lot of creative things. But in their snag bag, we were just laughing because I want to see the expression on their faces because they put these together to have when you go out and it's date night. Even if you've been together for a long time, it's date night or you're going to get a date. And in the snag bag, it cracks me up because they have polygrip. In case you don't want your teeth falling out when you're making love. You know what? You don't want. They have a toothbrush. They have toothpaste, so you have fresh smelling breath. They have lubricant. Lubricant, just in case. You know, they have tasty lubricant, the cinnamon, caramel, those kind of lubricants. Anyway, the elders are, but they're also, in all seriousness, we laugh about that. And when we begin to laugh, we're healing. Laughing and crying are the same thing. So it's good for Indians just to laugh together. And so this festivity, I would stimulate it. Bring in laughing things. Tell old stories. Tell on yourself. Tell them the stuff that you used to do. You know, I had a long conversation with one of my man friends this morning, and we were talking about what we did before we stopped drinking many moons ago and laughing at ourselves because we did some pretty crazy things. Tell those stories. Tell the stories. What's working here with healthy relationships is we're telling all of our relationships, and is there a pattern? Did we have a pattern of people that we thought we were in love with? Did we have a pattern? Is there when we come from trauma, is there a pattern? Because we want to scoot out. We want to break the cycle. We want to break the cycle. And so one of our grandma, she helped all of us by sharing some of her story. It opened up the circle. We had a smudge. And that smudge going from the morning with those young people singing, and then they left. So this was adults. We had a serious conversation of talking about our first relationships, our second relationships, our third relationships, of romance, of courtship. And so think about tomorrow's the solstice. And when if you're in a vow or in a committed relationship, what are you doing special tomorrow at 8:45 p.m. to celebrate that festivity? You know, is it sometimes, you know, this is just me and I'm old school. I think it's just romantic to go for a walk and hold hands. I mean, the other stuff is good too, but I think it's romantic to go for a walk and hold hands. So part of the festivity is grab someone's hand. You know, we've been hugging a lot here, just because this is a huggable group. But grab someone's hand, and maybe you don't have to say anything. Just hold their hand, walk with them, talk with them. Just hold their hand. And so that one of the funnies that happened here is it was dark already, and I'm in Mendocino County, and I wanted to go see some trees. And so one of the brothers, he said, well, I'll walk you. He walked me out, and it was dark, and I go, well, I can walk by myself. And I go, I just want to look at the trees. I want to smell the air. But later he told me, he said, you know, you shouldn't, sometimes you shouldn't, a woman shouldn't just be walking by herself. And that's true. In this festivity, with every life giver you know, every woman you go, grab her arm, walk with her, laugh with her, grab her hand, give her a hug. In the festivity, every child, there was Michaela. She's 11 years old. She's one of the young people. The entire time, I loved her energy because she laughed and she goofed, and she's 11 years old. And no matter who was singing, she took the clappers and she started trying to learn the song. So she was like in time, and then and then she, I just looked at her glee, just having her in the room. So festivity, bring your smile to the room. Bring your smile into the festivity. And I say that because one of the symptoms of residential school, of boarding school, and of trauma is that poker face. And you know that face. It's like unreadable. And that's, if an Indian's got that kind of face, how in the hell are you going to communicate? Smile! Smile. Just bring the smile into the room for festivity. Just bring yourself and your good energy into the room. And no matter who's there, be compassionate. Be loving. Talk to them. Just go over and say, how you doing? Again, hug them. What are you doing festive? What's going on? And then ask them a question and shut up and listen. Shut up and listen. I think it's festive to listen to everybody's story. And, Blackfoots, they'll go, acknowledgement, And Josh was just saying, Kiowas, when, someone's seen, they're going, hey, hey, hey. There's all of this, there's all of this acknowledgement. So think about the body language, what you're saying. I mean, like I was going around the neighborhood and I was luluing at everything. I was making it festive. And they're like, who's that Indian lady with the braids walking around the hood? I was going, even the decorations, I just thought they were so beautiful. Even the kids are all playing basketball. I'm luluing at them, waving. Make this time for the solstice. Make this time of the season festive for you. And so that's part of the message of Native Wellness Institute. Antoinette, I'm calling her. We have one more guest that we wanted to bring on in.
What's up?
What are
we talking about?
We were talking about the solstice, but we were talking about
tomorrow.
We were talking about not tomorrow, but also tomorrow. Yeah. Anything on the solstice. But what do you do here? Because this place feels like a safe place. I'm gonna this feels like a healing place. And Antoinette says she's only been working here a year and a half, but she's lived here 30 years. So she knows you have to have your own people who have lived here, not the people who come and go, the people that love it and stay here. So Antoinette, just tell us anything about Sherwood Pomo and what healing goes on in this building, in this neighborhood.
Yeah, so here we do youth, it started out as tribal youth diversion. So we build relationships with our youth and help them in any possible way that we can. But helping youth and youth diversion is also helping their families. It's also bringing intergenerations together and having those community dinners or having those places where they can be together. Because in order to, have prevention activities, we gotta include the whole community. Really, tribal youth diversion is about the youth and their community, their families, their parents, whether they live with them or not. A lot of our youth are raised by grandparents. And so giving them the skills and resources and also addressing their healing. So we hope to provide a safe space for all of them so that we can have a healthy community in the future. Because there's so much, we're talking about trauma from, what happened with colonization. And here we have, I think I heard Theda talking about, the big trees and lumber. That was what brought a lot of people to this area. And so some went to boarding schools, some didn't go to boarding schools. I have a great grandmother who didn't go to a boarding school, but she didn't teach her children language. She didn't teach her children how to weave baskets. She was a master basket weaver. She didn't teach them culture, because for her, she was protecting them by sending them to the military and to higher education. So my grandparents were in relocation and re-education in San Francisco and in Humboldt County. And And a lot of alcoholism came from that. A lot of trauma came from that. And so those are the generations and the generation after that that are raising their grandchildren, and they want to do what's best. They love their grandchildren. And so providing not only our children with resources and things when they come into our office, but also helping the whole families to heal is really important. That prevention is everyone.
Let me
Everyone.
I just gotta hug you, but I want to ask you one more question.
Okay.
Is every time I see you, you look more beautiful, and you have such good words. So how did you get this way? Because when I first met you, I guess when you first met me, we were kind of messed up.
I'll share that. So I had lost, at that point, I had lost 2 children. And I was, you could call shattered. I couldn't help anyone else. I've always been a helper. At the time I was working in the community, helping relatives to get the healthcare that they needed. So helping them find the resources, whether it was for doctors, for insurance, for medicine, helping them find those things. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it anymore. I had nothing to give because I was so broken. I was so shattered. And so I knew I needed to look for it. So prayer, like every second, prayer got me through every second. Praying 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, and then an hour. Like I could then start to, it's like my brain was broken. So then it was being able to do things. But one of the things I really had to focus on was my healing for me. And so I'm very artistic. I'm an Indigenous artist. And so I had to go back to I couldn't create anything. I couldn't, we knew basket weaving. I would start a basket, burn it, bad thing. I always felt there were bad things in it. So I would basket, burn it. So all the things I would do to try and heal, but there's just so much more you need to do as well. I'm not saying prayer is ineffective. Prayer is like number 1. Always works, right? Always works. But I had to actually seek help. So when you talk about seeking counseling, and so I believe I first met Theda at a Gona.
Gona.
And so Gona, where we cried. I cried. Mike Duncan was there, Albert Tittman, Dean Hunglin, and we cried for 4 days through all the steps because I was a different person without my children here living on earth. I was a different person. So that belonging, the identity, I was different. And so I had to go through my healing process. And once you're going through your healing process, I was very shy. People don't believe I'm shy or was shy. I am shy. I'm not shy anymore.
You ain't shy no more, girl. The shyness has disappeared. It's gone. Okay, tell us more.
So I couldn't not speak. I couldn't not do. It's like I needed to make sure that there wasn't another youth out there that was confused about their identity, that was confused about who loved them, about where they came from, where they belonged, because maybe they weren't enough blood degree to be a tribal member, and so they weren't feeling belonged, that they didn't feel included, and I just had to speak so that, and I know I can't save, it's not like I'm trying to save everybody, but if I can impact one person, one child, one individual, one grandma, just somebody, then, my pain and my loss and my suffering and my blessings as well aren't for naught. So I couldn't stay in bed. I had to get out of it. I couldn't be quiet. I had to talk. I had to share. And so I continued to go to places where I could be helped like that. And so Native Wellness Institute, NAFA, Generation Red Road, in the beginning, White Bison, there were some trainings that I went to for that. Anywhere where I could get more tools and resources to help my healing and to heal my heart. My grief is still the same. My grief stays the same from that day and the day before that. But my heart has grown. So that grief is still that black ball, right? But I've grown. And all the love that I have, all the things that I can share, all the things that I've learned, I want to share it. And I want to do it in a good way. Positive, upbeat, encouraging. And so I hope that, everything that we do here provides that for whoever comes. Whoever comes. Come through the door today, don't come back for a while. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, I'm going to hug you again. Because, do you want to say anything about your partner? Come on, no, because there's a good story here. Just
So, in coming through all this healing, right, I came to a place where I'm good with myself. Like, I could be single for the rest of my life. I'm good. And there was somebody out there who wanted to court me, and I was like, no, I'm good. No. Ask again? No, thank you. Go on my way. My sister cousins were like, you know what? We're thinking you need to say yes.
So remember that, sisters. Encourage them to go out on the date. Encourage them to practice. Encourage courtship. So what happened?
So, continued. I said yes because they said you just need to say yes once. So I said yes. We went on a few dates, and I realized I was still healing. I was then healing from illness because I have a mass in my lung, and so I just found out about it. I just broken my back. Like, all these things had happened right when the pandemic happened. Wow. I found them out. And so I was in a healing place. So Power Hour, I listened to it. It was like every day for a while.
7 days a week?
Yeah. Yeah, so I listened to it every day. And getting better. Went on some dates. And now I'm married. Big announcement. It's been a while. I'm not the person to share things about myself. So We've been married for 2 years. And I can say this, like, it's a relationship not built in trauma, around trauma, with trauma. It's a relationship where I don't have any walls up. I can be me. He can be him. And it's, it starts with healing. And then you think you're healed, but you just got to keep going and heal some more. Feels like the business teacher where he's like, here's your plan. And he'd give it back to me. And he'd say, nope, do it again. In graduate school, they push you and they push you and they push you. But it's a good thing. It really is a good thing because it increases your capacity and your ability to engage in different places. So
awesome.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Antoinette. We're just we're gonna sign off here. We're getting ready. We have some other elders coming in, and we're gonna talk smack. No. But good smack. We're really
I have to close my ears sometimes when Theda talks.
So the elders are coming through the door, but Native Wellness Institute, Wellness Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Monique. And Monique, she does body work. She takes off her shoes and makes me lay on the floor and does it with her feet. Woohoo! I tell you, some good stuff.
Good healing.
So with that, we're going to say Kitaki Tomatsuno. Kitsikakumim, we love you. Native Wellness Institute. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Kediwadam.